All right, 3, 2, 1.
Seconds. Yeah, I was about to say, I was just like, wow, we're really holding this week, huh?
Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of Trangirlismo, the only automotive podcast where one of your hosts is so fucking mad at the rabid dog of the country, America, that she lives in, that she's decided to pick up Maoist Standard English as a second language. I am
the
that
other host.
host.
I was going to say, the other host is going to stage an intervention because nothing gets communism more made fun of than a Maoist white people trying to do Mao shit.
Hi, I am that host. I am Victoria Scott. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hi, my name is Jordan Hofstetter. My pronouns are she and her. Victoria, what a fucking nightmare fucking week.
Yeah, you know, I've been trying really hard at least to be like, all right, I'm back in the States from my, whirlwind European tour that still I can't shut up about, again, being an embarrassing American. Yeah. I'm going to just pretend things are going back to normal. There is something that I've wanted to talk about in this show for a while, which is there is a possibility that in the near future I might end up with a car again. It is a car... Yay! That I would love. I don't want to go into details because I was waiting to get the car and do pictures and do I had a whole story planned. I had this big kind of surprise thing for it that I wanted to launch with the show. But the thing is the car is in another state. And the podcast is doing well, but it is still my only source of my income. My wife, works, but we don't make a ton of money, so I'd like to have a relatively stable foundation if I'm going to pick up the major expense of a car, all the gas it needs, and car insurance, which I'm doing full coverage this time after having been bit last time by my car getting stolen.
Correct.
It turns out that it is impossible to plan any aspect of your life when you live in the United States of America in 2026. And so I feel like we have to discuss the fact that there is no tangible future whatsoever for basically anybody on Earth right now. Because it turns out that the omnicrisis has consumed my specific hobby of wanting to buy a shitty old car.
The omnicrisis has consumed your ability to plan because you have horrid anxiety, my dear friend. It's hard to plan.
I have to book a flight to go to another state. I have to drive through a bunch of states where they're flirting with making it actually an arrestable offense to piss in Idaho, which is a problem for me because I need to drive through Idaho to get back here from most states because I live in Washington, which shares a land border. And
you go the long way. Come on.
I know, but then I have to drive through California where gas is currently $6 a gallon, and in a month it might be $10. Because I have the notes here. I've been writing them down through the week, and it changes every fucking 5 minutes, so they're pointless at this point. When I wrote the notes the first time, Brent crude oil spot pricing, to not futures, but present, give me oil right now, was $144 a standard barrel, which was an all-time high, higher than when Russia invaded Ukraine, higher than COVID, higher than the Great Financial Crisis, because Trump had promised that he was going to wipe out Iranian civilization. And everybody had that fun day, remember Tuesday, where everybody was like, ooh, are we going to use nuclear weapons? Maybe we're just going to destroy every power plant for a country of 90 million people, and no one can stop him. Cool, this is great. So, that spiked oil prices. Then they came way back down, a day later, because he unilaterally announced a ceasefire.
We were doing it. It was going to be great. Straits open. What could go wrong?
Yeah, the strait was open, and then immediately Israel decided to go back to massacring people in southern Lebanon and killed 300 civilians, just leveled entire apartment blocks because they were like, you can't stop us, because no one can stop us, because that's the world we live in, is no one can stop them. They're right. Nobody has the political will or the moral backbone to stop them. But Iran was like, you can't do that. That was in the ceasefire. And it turned out that there was never actually a ceasefire written. There was not a single document. There was a version in Farsi, and there was a version in English, and they didn't match.
It was the first vibes-based ceasefire I think we've ever, or like the most vibes-based ceasefire since like that story from World War I where they just played soccer with each other, which I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Like if that's true, the world is nicer than I like to think, but like I don't think that story is true. I don't. All those guys were hamburger meat in a bayonet charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the things about World War I that many people said was that, like, you know, it was really a chill time, of a good time for everybody involved. It didn't make anybody become a weird fascist. Everybody was like, that was a fun time, we should do it again sometime, which is why they had a second one.
I'll see you again in 25 years. David
but
Lynch.
In any case, this ceasefire that didn't exist lasted for all of like 12 hours. 2 ships got through. But it was enough for the market to be like, oh, it's fine. And oil went down to like oil futures again, and not spot price, but like oil futures went back down to like $92 a barrel, which is still $30 more than it was 3 months ago. But it's normal for whatever normal is. And now, of course, this morning, my wife, every morning this week, I roll over. My wife beats me awake every day because she just naturally wakes up at 7 a.m. No matter
barista,
what.
Barista power will do that.
Barista power, yeah. So I roll over, and she's like, did you read yet? And as I'm, like, bleary-eyed looking at my phone, I'm like, oh, God, what did he do this time? And she's like, oh, yeah, we're blockading the Strait of Hormuz ourselves now. And I was like, what? You're joking. Surely you're joking. I'm half asleep. I am hungover because I scanned film for 11 hours yesterday. And I just like got carried away.
Were you drinking the chemicals? Why were you hungover?
Well, what was I going to scan sober? Come on.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Have you ever operated a Plus Tech 120? It is the most mind-numbing activity in existence. You kind of get
good as hell right now.
Honestly, yeah, it was pretty cathartic, and it was at a friend's place. So it was fun. But I went to bed at 1 a.m. because I scanned literally for all day.
Mm-hmm.
I was scanning until 12:30 in the morning.
I think the best way, there's 2 ways to describe our current moment through memes and media, as Americans are wont to do. It's either burger or cultural reference. And I'm going to hit you with the cultural reference. Do you remember the episode of Futurama where they find the robot who has the paddle wheel inside her, and if she runs out of water, she's gonna die? And every like 30 minutes or so, she just starts screaming that this is it. This time's for sure. This does feel like what the oil market is doing.
But here's the thing, right? It's like we're running out of oil. Like the ships are finally getting here. That we're finally going to stop living in a world in which commodities magically manifest in front of our eyes.
I don't think so. Nothing ever happens, Victoria. Nothing ever happens. Like, that's the Tuesday, day full of anxiety. What happened? Nothing. Like, the wars will happen. The horrors will continue unabated, but nothing significant is going to, like,
see, here's the thing, right? It's like, this is the realization I had when I was like watching all this, is I'm like, if we had nuked Iran, I probably would have woke up the next day and continued with my stupid, meaningless life.
It's pretty meaningful. This podcast does pretty well.
I would continue like flipping light switches, and electricity would flow from like the dams built in the 1930s through the transmission lines that cut all the way across the Cascades directly to my home, where I can get electricity. And I could have gone to the Trader Joe's, and I could have bought coffee that was imported here from Brazil. And you know, made my stupid little coffees and the pour over coffees in the morning. And so I am under no illusions that, like, as an American, I am directly impacted by any of this shit, because I am not the key focus here. We've already killed 2,000 people in Iran. The Israelis have killed, I don't even fucking know how many people at this point, where it's going to take a generation to count all the dead from the past 4 years at this point, and bipartisan consensus that they get to kill whoever they want. So I am not trying to center myself. I am putting this in the episode. I wanted to talk about this simply because I don't know how much longer I can magically flip a light switch and electricity comes to my home through, like, for free, basically. I mean, it costs money, but, like, we do not live in a Depression era mentality. Like, my grandparents grew up with that, My great-grandparents migrated here because there was no food in Greece. Different kinds of material scarcity mindset. And, like, I don't know how long can I keep making coffee for? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be unprecedented in world history for an empire to fall and stop being able to source coffee. Like, Yes, Jordan?
Did you see the post earlier today where it was just someone going, like, basically the Iranians told JD Vance to go fuck himself and his demands, and I just have to imagine there was someone across from him going, like, so, like, when gas is $8 a gallon over the summer, do you think they're gonna put you in a nice prison? Like, do you think they're gonna put you specifically in one of the good ones? Like, do you even think you're gonna make prison? Like, again, my rant from the other episode. Dunkin' Donuts, America does run on Dunkin'. If coffee disappears, we're doing January 600. We're doing January 6s that we haven't even conceived of before.
I don't know.
Must water the field of progress with the blood of tyrants so we can get our little treats back in order.
I don't know. It's just like and this is kind of like it's coming to a head with this car thing. I spent like an hour talking to my mother-in-law earlier. Like, hey, do you have some advice for me? Because you're like wiser than me. You are like, she's a very. Why are you giving me that look? She's a very sweet lady, and she does.
No. Sorry. I almost accidentally closed the tab that you were in, which would have done a very funny thing. I did a weird trackpad mistake for a second, and I was making that face because I was worried I was about to lose you.
And so, like, on one hand, I'm like genuinely sick to my stomach that we keep killing people.
Yeah.
And I can seemingly do nothing to stop it because I think we're going to have bipartisan consensus that, like, killing people in the Middle East is fine. That's just been the status my whole life through both parties. Nobody seems to have the appetite to say, hey, actually, maybe we should not do this. And that would be what I'd actually like. So I'm not getting that, and I'm just going to be sick about it forever, and that I should be. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that comes with being American, is you just should feel kind of sick all the time about all the people this country buries for no goddamn good reason. But on the other hand, like, I've been carrying that for years. That's feeling very direct, but it is not a new feeling.
She has. The entire time I've known her.
On the other hand, correct. Though.
Yeah.
The other hand, though, this whole, in a month and a half from now, if I'm going to go fly out to pick up a car and drive it over 2,000 miles home, I don't know what the laws are going to be like in the state of Idaho, or anywhere else for that matter, but Idaho is the really risky one right now, because they've got, like, it's, like, genuinely not looking great there, which I knew was going to be the case, which is why I moved to Washington, but, like, Idaho's looking dodgy. I don't know what gas is going to cost. I don't know if, like, I imagine air carriers are going to have to cut back some flights and cancel a bunch of shit if Jet A ends up doubling again in the next, 2 months, which it very well could if we cut off 25% of the world's oil supply overnight. That's just, you don't, there is a basic supply and demand thing here, and, because other countries have the ability to preserve their domestic supply, I think it's going to be more serious in the US, where we can refine less of our oil. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Why do I know all this? So I can go buy a $3,000 car. I'm doing the math on things that is just, I have no power, and I am going insane. And I don't know how you wake up every day, and I send my stupid little emails, and I make my dumb little pour-over coffee, and I just do not know how to keep functioning normally. That is why I put this in, because I imagine that lots of people who are listening feel similarly.
I've told you personally often about how I reached these depths of despair often, and I'm not numb to it now.
But
in fact, it's just like where you are led. We're both at the point where getting out of bed's pretty hard. But also,
Yeah.
I at least, for a long time, I at least had a day job I quite liked, which I, as of this recording, do still have that day job, which is great. And like I love my life. My little life here is so delightful. However, it's really hard to get out of bed in the morning. It's really hard to. There's a level during the first Trump administration. I had to learn about how to consume news in such a way that did not make me go on a grippy sock vacation. And I'm still using all of those tools, which is how I like microdose it rather than just mainlining it. But like, you know, I have to cling to things like Orban eating shit in a landslide in Hungary. I have to take these things such as like, you know what? Like, are things going to get rough for us here in America? Yes. But also, we're losing this. We're losing this. We're getting our pants beat diplomatically, and it's hi Beepo. It's in fact good that this is happening because I just see this administration like they are going through the death spiral of they can't even do the Nixon administration right. Which I'm not saying Nixon even did the Nixon administration right, but like this is what happens when you like are as bad as Nixon, but somehow you're a sober man. Yeah. You know, this is sober dementia man rather than a guy who was so drunk all the time he was wiretapping himself. And thankfully, last time I checked, Henry Kissinger is still dead. So
that's true. He is.
If people want to keep tabs on that, just to make sure.
If these
no take backsies from hell.
Say any of that. Never mind. Nope. I was thinking about it and I was like, nope. All right, time to reel it back in. What I will say is this. There is a bottle of very nice champagne in my fridge for when it happens. And the promise of it happening is all that keeps me going sometimes. Not even because I think it will lead to material change that will make my life better or stop the pogroms against, like, you know, immigrants to the United States or to curtail the rise of ICE or help with trans rights or stop our domestic policy of killing literally any person trying to build a better world in the Middle East or Global South. But I do think that I could use the celebration and it will be fun. Because I think that broadly that will probably fracture America in a way that we'll never recover from. Which that like this interregnum is what's killing me, right? Like the beast is lurching and dying and bleeding out, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. What am I supposed to do while I'm waiting for it to stop breathing?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. But this, I swear to God, I don't know. Because like.
There's comfort in that every single generation of humans has thought that the world is ending around them. Every generation of humans is arrogant enough to assume that we are seeing the end of it all. I thought
my country was gonna kill like 5 million people this week, and I
did too for a couple hours, and then I realized, nah, like no, because once there are certain things that we could do that will still have global repercussions. That's one of them.
Strait of Hormuz has been closed for a month, though.
Yeah, and that's not it's not good. But you know what?
Yeah,
I hate to say
this is the problem, right?
You can sail the long way around. We did it for a while.
You can't sail oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. If it's blockaded, the 25% of the world's oil is just stuck in that very oil-rich region of the world.
Gas will be expensive for a while. We'll start refining more of it at home.
We need plastic. This is what I'm saying, right? It's like
we don't need plastic. We like plastic.
There are two schools of thought here, right? There is nothing ever happens, or we kill 5 million people. Either of those could happen tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after. Both of us, we could both be wrong. We can't both be right. That's for sure. One of us is either right or both of us are wrong.
Humanity
I don't know
survived the 1980s.
Barely.
But we did.
Well, I mean, we did, but also like that's kind of like in the long run we all die, and it's like yeah, that's true. I need to know whether or not I can get on an airplane and drive across the United States in a month and a half, or whether gas is going to be $12 a gallon, and Idaho is going to have bounty hunters rolling around with like technicals with tranny-seeking missiles.
Those aren't real.
Free band name, by the way.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Those aren't real. If maybe look into the quote on what shipping a car would be.
It's too much. It's more than the car's worth. It's more than the car's worth.
The gas you put in it might be more than the car's worth by the time we get there. It's a $3,000 car.
Saying.
Anything you do is more than the car's worth, you know?
Anyway,
this is
the Jordan and Vicky Geopolitics 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's the you and I are the perfect yin and yang of very similar women, which I know one of the things I say is we're different women. The thing is, we're not that different. I just have to look at the bright side or I would have ended it years ago. And you are better at just keep going in the like, oh God, it's all over. I live in the we're so back. The glass is half full. We'll be fine.
No, I am the type of...
The amount of water in the glass never changes. It's fine.
I'm the type of person who read Camus and was like, damn, this guy's spitting. I love staring into the maw of my meaninglessness and just like my complete lack of power, and then just getting a little probably too close sometimes. But also, I'm honest with myself about all of this, gesturing to life broadly. The other thing that I think is worth mentioning here, that's driving me batshit insane, to bring it back to the show's like ostensible topic, is, did you see the thing that I posted in the show notes about the Infiniti executive?
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, one, I have to imagine being one of the chief executives at Infiniti must be like being one of those Japanese soldiers in the middle of the Pacific who don't realize the war is over. Like, what? Hey, how many... I don't know how many things... Like, are they still selling the G37? What are they doing?
I have such a great foray into that, but just to get everybody up to speed, I'll post it in the show notes as well, but... The Drive got a scoop this week. Joel Feder wrote a piece up about an Infiniti executive. It was specifically Tiago Castro, who told The Drive that theoretically the company would like to build a 700 horsepower QX80. And this is kind of like, but this is one of those things where it's like, what world are you living in? Like, and this is bridging these gaps. I wrote an article like a couple of years ago about, it was called the Emperor's Large Luxury SUV, about the dissonance between living in the material world where people are harmed and in the corporate world where like next quarter is all that exists and profit is literally your god. Because I think that Americans worship money. And so, like, it's really, like, nobody knows what's going to happen. Corporations have decided, okay, well, let's pretend nothing is happening. That works great until it doesn't, and somebody else is always left holding the bag, so fuck it.
The American taxpayer, rather.
Yeah. So I would like to, in the spirit of perpetual ridiculous optimism, let's do a review quickly of what Infiniti does, what they're making, and where they're going.
Oh, God. So it's all rebadged Nissan products, which already not
Correct.
Great. Not great. The QX80 last got a refresh sometime. Was the QX80 brand new in, like, 2015?
No, they refreshed it more recently.
Okay, because I was about to say, I was like, one of those is what ran me off the road on my Aprilia scooter many years ago. A lady was texting and driving, and rather than me getting flattened by a QX80, oh, Shapes Place. Speaking of, one of the highlights of this week, a
wonderful, wonderful person. Nathan made us a song that we will put at the end of the episode.
Baffling.
It was incredible. It was
So
genuinely.
good.
I cackled like a maniac.
I did too. I was also deeply... That's the other thing where this last week has felt unreal for a variety of not fun personal reasons, and also I got very sick. So I was just... And my wife was in Chicago without me. So I was just kind of home in the alone, and
You were in the Victoria Scott thought zone.
Yeah, because I was having nightmare fever visions anytime I
Right.
fell asleep. Tuesday night or Tuesday before the truth nuke rather than the actual nuke got dropped. I spent a lot of my day wandering around with my camera because I took a mental health day from work for not
Mental
even
health reasons.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I I then had a lovely night with my wife, and then as she goes to bed before I do, and then I go, I'm really freezing cold. That's weird. Because it's 70 degrees in the house. And then I was just like, maybe I'm just having like a reverse hot flash or whatever. And then I go sit down in the basement. I am in a hoodie and sweats under a blanket with a space heater pointed at me, shivering. Beepo around me, and I'm just like, well, she doesn't feel hot. Like, I don't know what's wrong. And then, yeah, I spent several hours just shivering in bed, and then I was just like, I'm probably fine. And then I wake up the next morning dying. So that's how I spent our horror geopolitical week. Where did I get started on that? Was that there was a point about Infiniti in there, I think.
Well, I was just gonna say you said you were doing kind of bleak this week.
Yeah, it's a bleak week, but yeah, this is one of those things where I'm just like, to be an Infiniti executive must already have the sort of cognitive impairment of like getting kicked in the head by a horse. So like, that's like worse than being a regular automotive executive, or even worse than being a regular Nissan executive at this point. Like, I have to imagine I was making clear decisions as my brain was boiling away and I was hugging a toilet bowl about as much as this guy being like, yeah, we could put 800 horsepower in a QX80.
Well, yeah, because I wanted to say, like, the thing about the QX80, right, is I wanted to talk about Infiniti's product strategy, and we got into you hugging the toilet bowl.
Do they have a strategy?
Their ostensible plan is to add one model per year over the next couple of years to become, like, I don't know, lower volume boutique, what everybody's doing, which is there are fewer people with money, so let's sell to them instead of selling to, like, poor people. Yeah, jerk off motion fart noise.
Aston Martin spending $300 million developing a car for one guy.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
No, that's not in the notes.
Yeah, this is just like a fucking stupid world we live in. Anyways, yes, Infiniti.
Infiniti, it's being part of Nissan, you would assume, like, okay, well, they must be, like, planning to make EVs in some way. Like, that seems to be where the market's going. And Nissan makes the Leaf, which was the first mass market EV ever built.
They should have made a nice Leaf like Lexus did make a nice Prius.
I know
the little Lexus Prius,
the CT200H.
That thing fucking rocks. Wow. I've got to let Beepo out of the room. I'll be right back. You go off, girl.
Okay, I'll keep going off. So, Nissan dominated global EV sales for most of the 2010s. Until they were dethroned in 2020 by Tesla with the Model 3. But they had this massive lead over the entire, like, automotive industry, which they squandered basically for an entire decade, and never developed an Infiniti, kind of neglected the Leaf for a while in favor of the Nissan Ariya, which is a very solidly mediocre SUV, which they then canceled American sales of this year to focus on the new Leaf instead, which apparently is good again. But the thing that I would ask you is, when has anybody besides the two of us talked about the Nissan Leaf in the past, 4 years, let's say?
Ooh, not frequently. Yeah, once you said 4 years, I immediately go, the last time I saw... Did the Leaf Nismo ever come out in the US?
Don't think it did, no. It only was a Japan-only thing, I think.
They were filming an ad for it in Austin. That's the only reason. Because I saw that really cute thing that I forgot they still do for car commercials, where it is driving around a city, but by driving around a city, it's on a flatbed being driven around
to get the reflections and stuff. But yeah, so
after last episode, I was looking at used Leafs. They are either not working or they're in good enough shape that they're expensive again.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when gas is an average of $4.15 or whatever a gallon. It'll be like $6 by the time this episode comes out. But in any case, so you would think like Infiniti would be like, okay, they had planned to enter an EV into production in 2025 when they unveiled a concept coupe EV in 2023. It was supposed to platform share with the electric Maxima. Both of those cars don't exist. That is a Shapes place for Nissan executives. So you might say, well, how is Infiniti's relevance doing? Infiniti recovered quite well from the global financial crash in 2008, and they reached a record high sales of 150,000 vehicles, give or take, in the U.S. in 2017, which is pretty solid, like, all things considered.
That feels late.
Last year, they sold 58,000 cars in total. Which is about 100,000 less than they sold, 8 years before.
Yeah.
Now, I'm no capitalist, but that seems like it might be a problem if you need to grow things. I don't know.
Line not supposed to go down. Line supposed to go up. Mods. My juice.
I spilled my profits. Mods.
That is what if you want to talk about like the big three bailouts of 08, 09, like it is mods, I spilled my juice, where are my profits? And it's just like, look, you could have more juice, but I need you to, here's a gun and you've got to shoot Pontiac in the head.
Oh, rest in peace. Infiniti ended last year with 2 cars. They had the QX80.
No.
Yes. They had the QX80, the full-size body-on-frame 3-row SUV that is a Nissan Armada. Or, I think it's an Armada. Yeah, it's I wrote it down somewhere in the notes. Hang on a second.
If it's not the Armada, I have no idea what the fuck it is.
I think it's the Armada. Yeah, it's the Armada. And the QX60, which is rebadged Pathfinder, I think. Also a 3-row SUV.
So okay.
Wait.
When did the...
Wait.
What?
They added a 3rd car this year to their lineup.
Okay.
It's the Infiniti QX65, which is the identical copy of the QX60, but instead of looking like an SUV, it has a coupe roofline. It's more svelte, and it's missing a row, and it has less cargo space, but it's an identical drivetrain that nobody likes. So that's their 3rd vehicle. You may notice all of these cars are gas only. They don't have a single hybrid even. I had to check. I really was like, maybe they're doing crazy shit over there and we're just not appreciating it. Because that happens sometimes. Sometimes a car company makes really good stuff. It just doesn't get noticed. No, they are just not making cars.
That's
so
grim.
you would say, okay, next year they're going to add another car. They've announced it is definitely a car. So perfect time for like the Infiniti Leaf. Call it like a maple or something. Fancier, like wood grain, leather upholstery, Infiniti version of the Leaf. No. It's going to be a sports sedan revival of the Q50, if you remember that car, which
was the G37, right?
Which is the G39 successor, whatever the hell they were at, and then the G37, because the SVP of U.S. marketing and sales, Diego Castro, bought a G35 as his first car when he moved to the U.S. a couple decades ago, and it's convinced him that they need to get back in touch with their sports car roots, which is crazy to me, because so this week I went out and got dinner, with my girlfriend Liz. Right, we went to We went and got dinner together. We were sitting at the bus stop waiting for it to take us home. And, 2 kids... I felt really bad, actually, afterward. Because, all blacked out Infiniti G37 on, knockoff eBay wheels, overly dark illegal tints, LED everything. You could tell the coilovers were cheap.
Slammed to the ground?
Slammed-ish.
Okay.
You could tell the coilovers were cheap because the way it bounced over bumps. It rolled past us, stopped at a light, and inside were, I swear to God, children driving it. It it was like a 16-year-old who had like just grown his first facial hair. And like they weren't doing hot dog shit. They weren't doing anything mockable, but I did kind of laugh because it was just the perfect reveal of like, yes, the G37 has been passed on to the next generation of enthusiasts.
Time out. Hot dog shit?
Hot dog in it, you know?
What does that imply? That's a new one for me.
They're like doing burnouts or, you know, heavy lead-footed throttle work or whatever.
Okay, I've never heard that referred to hot dog in it. I was about to say, is this like dragoning a car where you're trying to put your dick in the exhaust or something?
No, the hot dogging at dictionary.com, the act of one who hot dogs, the performance of intricate, daring, or flamboyant stunts.
Sure, yeah.
You know, it was first, the origins come from the 1960s.
Okay, all right. The stuff you had at the vault with you. Got it.
That's true, yes, yeah. It came up a bunch on my talkies. I don't know why you haven't heard it before.
My radio programs.
Yeah.
Describing the Fonz, hot dogging another motorcycle trick. Yeah, I don't know. I guess in my mind, the Infiniti lineup has been frozen in that like 2017 because I'm like, well, they make like the hatchback that's really like a CLA underneath.
No,
they make the coupe. I was like, they're selling Q60s, which is like the coupe of the Q50. I'm like, oh, they're gonna sell that forever. Like Nissan has made more oh god, what is VR38s? Is that their 6-cylinder?
Well, the okay, so the VR38 DETT is the GTR motor.
Okay. What's their regular V6 that's been in everything since the dawn of time?
You mean the VQ?
The VQ, yeah.
Because the VQ, I think the successor motor was the VG, but they don't do that anymore. The motor that's in the QX60 and 65 is a Turbo 4, I think.
That makes sense.
Oh my god, I don't. QX60 engine, yeah, 2-liter 4-cylinder. It was originally a VQ 35DE, and then they dropped that in favor of the turbo, probably for, yeah, it's a KR20 DET now, because they wanted to meet automotive emissions and fuel economy standards. And it's due to Nissan's push to transition its vehicle lineups to 100% all-electric vehicles by the 2030s. They should get started on that.
Well, that's old copy that's still on their website, right? That they
that's on Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
That's on Wikipedia, and its citation is an article from GM Authority.
Source. I was trying to figure out. Okay, so they've. I was like, there's a new V6 twin turbo that is in the Z. And by new, I mean, I think it's a detuned GTR motor.
Oh, yeah, that thing. I don't remember where that comes from. Don't quiz me. I saw one for real the other day. I was shocked. Posted on the Transgrilismo Blue Sky account because I was so surprised to see a non-Nismo Z.
There's like 3 of them that roll around Pittsburgh. They're apparently... millennials or not millennials. Gen Xers are the ones who are buying those, by the way.
Well, Gen X is the only one who has any money, and it was a car that came out in the 70s, so... That makes perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, so you would think after all this, they're like, okay, the earliest planned hybrid is the year 2028, because that's going to be a Nissan Rogue with an Infiniti badge, apparently. That's the discussion.
Cool.
But in the meantime, Diego Castro told The Drive that they want, quote, they're looking at like a performance line QX80, and so he said, quote, when we look at the performance line, one, the QX80 today has 450 horsepower, so we want something that is significantly better. So should we have 700 horsepower? Ideally, we can get 700 immediately, or is it better to have something in between? That's the discussion right now. Timing is key. End quote.
Sure, man. Yeah, you know what's a very like easy way to get like really impressive horsepower numbers and also like cut down on your global emissions? Maybe if you made them EVs, you stupid motherfuckers.
I know.
Just buy a Chinese EV, rebadge it with the like what is the Infiniti symbol even supposed to be? Because it's not the Infiniti logo. It's not like the symbol for Infiniti.
No, it's like I don't actually know. It's like an oval with a triangle cut out.
Yeah, it's an oval that like is already compromised, which again is Infiniti's whole deal. They're nice Nissans. Nissan doesn't even like. Stella and our Nissan Sentra is a reliable highway miler who is like doesn't really cause us problems, but like.
According to Nissan, and this is again, I am reading from Wikipedia. I usually do more research than this, but Jordan just keeps asking me questions I really want to know the answer to. According to Nissan, the Infiniti logo is a stylized representation of a road extending to the horizon and of Mount Fuji, reflecting its Japanese origins.
It's an American-only car company. They only sell Infinitis in North America, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
In the Forza games, do you know what they badge Infiniti as? An American automaker. They call that shit American. Yeah.
They apparently have sold some in Europe. Sure. At some points, but I don't know if they currently are selling them in Europe. They don't sell them in Russia and Belarus anymore.
Why? What happened?
Yeah, I don't. They're in November of 2021. They said they would be 100% all electric by 2030.
So that's a cool. I'll give them the rest of this. I was about to say, I'll give them all of 2026, even though we're a quarter in already. But like, yeah.
Speaking of timing being key, right? Like, would it just for the QX80, right? Which is a full size body on frame SUV. I looked this up because I was curious. Without destination and like tax and title and all that, it is $83,750 starting
Jesus
price.
Christ. Starting
price. That is what it clocks in at. Yeah. Which I guess, like, if you think of it, and here's the thing, right? You must expand your mind and go into, you have to shift into automotive journalist brain. Because this is what I did for a long time. Okay, yeah. That's still like $8,000,
hit myself in the head with a fucking mallet real quick.
That's like $10,000 less than the starting price of LX, I'm pretty sure. What does the LX start at now?
I don't know. What does a Land Cruiser end at?
Yeah, the Lexus LX starts at $108,450. So this is really actually kind of a bargain. And this is the thing. This is why I went insane, right? Is because it would take most of my 30s based on my current earnings potential to be able to afford one Infiniti QX80. And I think I would spend the money differently. Also, it gets an EPA rated combined 17 miles per gallon.
Are you allowed to sell things where the number's that low that's not like a Ferrari? I thought that you just couldn't do that anymore because Americans would like fucking do the fucking Abe Simpson thing and just walk in, throw their hat down, and then pick it back. Hello, oh my god.
Oh, being attacked by Beep Beep.
Putting her back. So she's front declawed, but not back declawed. I would never declaw a cat. This was a previous owner thing. So she doesn't really know what to do with her back claws. Anyways, that's a long way of saying that she just pierced my tit with her claws.
Yeah, but anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to do an Infiniti episode because we're ragging on like every car manufacturer here. And Infiniti is kind of like, it almost feels bad, but like it still doesn't feel bad enough I wouldn't do it. You know?
Okay. So can I I'm not still sick, but I am frazzled. Because I didn't really sleep last night for a lot of reasons. But so I'm pretty out of it. What are you doing, Depot? She keeps trying to get down, and then I go, okay, I'm gonna let you down. And then she's just like, actually, throw myself over Mama's shoulder and go limp. Throw myself over Mama's shoulder and go completely limp. Infiniti, there was a time in, I think, the early 2010s where Infinitis were like cool and desirable and really seemed to be pushing things forward.
Yeah,
because like
it was when they were in the upswing.
It was that exciting. It was the absolute peak of Nissan and Infiniti right before things started to fall out, and then of course the Carlos Ghosn of it all. But like, do you remember the Q50 Eau Rouge concept, which was the Nissan GTR driveline in a pretty handsome sedan?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Sebastian Vettel almost murdered me in one of those.
Really?
Yeah, he was trying
like a hate crime situation, or
no. He's a very sweet, very gay friendly man.
Okay, good.
No, he was trying to do 4-wheel drive burnout donut things, and then it hooked up for a second, and it did lunge towards exactly where I was in the crowd at the moment. I think friend of the show, or at least friend of mine, Elizabeth Blackstock, was also like might have been in the car for part of that demo run.
Oh my God.
That was, if they had put that into production, that would have been such a cool thing. And then, their design language was actually pretty good for a while. I thought the Q50 was a perfectly handsome little thing. I thought the Q60 was good. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the Eau Rouge, because they did actually put out a design concept of a QX80 with a GTR drivetrain in it that had 1,000 horsepower. So I guess that's like going to be their party trick forever. It's like the Hellcat formula, right? Take a GTR drivetrain, drop it in something else.
The Nissan Juke R was the sickest thing that those fucking sick perverts at Nissan. Whoever greenlit that, and I think they ended up, at first I think they were not going to sell it to anyone, and then I think they sold 5 to like
various sickos and perverts who we would love to have on the show.
I don't know about that, because I think it was all like Saudi and Bahraini royal families, but
look, man, like you gotta let me have a drink, and you gotta be cool with trans women, but you can still come on. I would love to pick the Sultan of Brunei's brain about his car collection. Let's be real here.
He's not allowed to talk about it.
Well,
he got in a lot of trouble.
Break the radio silence and come on the show and talk about like why you expect like wagon Rolls Royces with tan interiors.
Sorry, I just thought about us somehow getting a royal family member decapitated or something, and I'm like, is that how we make our first real news headlines?
I don't. Again, my main goal is to not cause any actual harm with generally my existence, but at the very least this show.
Yeah, Nissan's like, Nissan is up there with Dodge and Chrysler in terms of car brands that are really skating on decisions they made 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And none of their new decisions, like, I know that Nissan is trying to go through a bunch of revival stuff, but like, remember when Honda was going to buy them basically for the bloodlust of defeating their long-lived enemy, and then we talked about this. There was the moment where the head of Honda was like, "What do we gain from buying Nissan?" Like he the post-nut clarity, and he was like, "Wait a second, I don't want this at all. You all have how much debt? I don't want that." Like, I don't know if Nissan will ever be desirable again, which really, sure, they say they're making a new GTR. The last GTR was in production from 2006 to 2 years ago, which is...
Okay, also,
from when I turned 10 to
when
28.
I had that car on my bedroom wall, and I desperately wanted to write a story about it when it was canceled because it meant a lot to me, and I could not, for the life of me, get my hands on one because
I don't think they drive
they
good.
just didn't. I don't know. I've never driven one. I was really curious. It was like a very important car to me, and like it was like it out with the smallest, saddest whimper, which is not, in my opinion, what it deserved. I thought it was cool. I will go out there on the record as a GTR enjoyer.
Oh, I think it's a really cool car. I just think they kept it in production far too long because, like, even with the like,
oh well, yeah,
iPhone
that wasn't a
style,
question.
yeah, even with like the iPhone style, slight advancements year over year that they were doing or whatever, like. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a GTR 17.
I hate to be like, I hate to just echo like, it's too electronic, it's boring. I never found it engaging to drive. Like, it was
drive
cool.
One?
Yeah, I've driven one. Yeah.
Oh,
Not on track, but on some back roads in Austin.
okay, that's
Rich
still plenty good.
This was the thing about having a bunch of rich people friends in the Austin car scene is people would throw me keys.
That is cool.
Because
yeah.
I was a young, not well-to-do. That's not true. I was a very broke little twink who people seem to enjoy a lot. But like that's how I didn't get like at Hooniverse. Like the only person getting press cars usually was like Glucker in California. I got a handful, but like most of my cool things I've driven are people threw me keys or I was like helping with a thing and I got to drive something. But yeah, the GTR was like, it felt long in the tooth when I drove one, and that was 2018, and they kept making it for 6 additional years or whatever, and I'm just like, it's a real like, come on, Grandpa, let's get you inside. Like, there was 997, 1 and 2, 997, 901, 992. They did 3 generations of 911 in the GTR's lifespan. There were...
I don't know how you remember the model codes for those things.
430, 458, 488, F8, 296. There were 5 different mid-engine... Like, it's just... You think about all the things that happened while like... America's full decline basically happened in the lifespan of the Nissan GTR, and this is just where I go, like, I don't... They had
GTR
so
was
much
born
time
during the Bush administration and died just in time to see Trump elected again.
They had 20 years to figure out what they were going to do for the R36, and they're still just like, yeah, we'll make one eventually. Don't rush us.
Don't worry about it.
It's like your worst procrastinating friend, and you're going over, you're like, I'll body double with you. Do you need me to, like, make these phone calls for you? And they're just like, we'll do it eventually. It's fine. Like, I hate it.
Well, don't worry. You might be able to get a 700 horsepower QX80. I should also note that, like, reading through this article, I don't think there's like a ton there. I think it was kind of like, yeah, we might do a high performance version someday because like everybody's doing performance versions and we have 700 horsepower capable motors sitting around, so we could just toss one of those in. I don't know if I'd take it as like a definite thing, but it was just so funny to be like, when I read this article, it was 10 minutes after I saw the headline that the spot price of Brent crude hit $144 a barrel. And I was just like, it's so funny being rational. I hate being able to read. This is awful. Why would you curse me with this? I don't want to possess this knowledge.
I used to think you had to be really smart to run an automaker. Like, right? Like,
that's a good bit.
Growing up, you assume that, like, these people are, like, you know, I talked with my father about this a while ago, where I felt really, there was a part of, like, COVID that was really comforting, because it made me realize that no one actually has any idea what they're doing at any point. Like, maybe 5% of humanity truly has their shit figured out, and those are, like, usually, hopefully, people like doctors, you know? But, yeah. Did you see when? Did you see that Orban made the hand gesture when JD Vance was like stumping for him? They were like sharing a stage, and apparently Vance was talking about like a landslide win for Orban, and Orban literally just does the like the hand wavy thing, like the like, and I'm like that's. We're built different here in America.
Speaking of not knowing what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, this is where
May I hit you with the second one?
Yup.
Volkswagen is pausing production of the ID4 in America.
Who could have seen this coming?
It was the ID Tiguan now. Because they were going to change the name to ID Tiguan. Remember? From like episode 6.
Have they even changed the name
so
yet?
Funny. I don't think so. I don't think they've actually changed the name. They're just like, nah, we're going to cut this out because we need to build more Atlases in Chattanooga. Which I should have put this in the notes. I'll just look it up right now. VW Atlas MPG. Up to 20 city, 27 highway. So, yeah, that's nobody wants EVs. Guess we'll go back to making gas cars now. Not to be like, I have been pretty down on EVs as like I think it generally, like I would say that for the auto industry, I skew a bit progressive, right? And I've been pretty down on EVs largely because of like the structural problems that make them not feasible for a lot of people in America.
Lithium mining, lack of access to charging, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, you know, the fact that like we let Tesla run the space and now we're like, oh no, well they run all the space, so we have to abide by theirs. It's a mess for mostly private industry commons wrecking reasons. But it is really funny to watch everybody just be like, well, we didn't really want to do this anyway. Fuck it. We were making so much money on like making Volkswagen Atlases, and they keep people in the showroom. So that was all I had. I had no other points for this. I literally just wanted to laugh at them. Because I hate Volkswagen.
They don't make any, like, thank God they still make the Golf, right?
No, they don't make the Golf, first of all. They only make the GTI and the Golf R. They don't make a regular Golf for normal assholes like me. You're making a face like you...
So they're just... I was wearing eyeliner, so I didn't want to do this, but...
Oh, Shape's Place. It's going to ruin your eyeliner.
God. Like, what do you mean they don't make a regular Golf? What's the GTI based on, then?
It's just the GTI. They might have a global Golf. We don't get one.
Oh, God.
They stopped it with, like, the Mark 7 generation. Like, the normal Golf?
Yeah. Is this like when I was looking at Subarus the other day I used to be so plugged in of what every single automaker was producing, and now it's just
assume every showroom is worse than it was 5 years ago.
It's crazy. Cars line went up forever on how much better cars were getting all the time. And then something happened. And I hate the word shitification because I think it is a really hand-wavy way to talk about, like, a lot of structural problems that are not inherent.
I like to call it the tendency of the rate of profit to fall. But yes.
Yeah, like, it's... You know, it's like American companies have a legal obligation to try to make the maximum value for shareholders. It's not a thing they want to do. It is a thing they do want to do it, but it's a thing they are legally mandated to try to do. So, you know, a lot of these bad business decisions, I threw quotes over that last bad, are all just because, like, some asshole thinks that it is the way to make the most money at any, like, for the next quarter, for the next 3 quarters.
Yes.
And I feel like automakers used to be able to look into the future a little bit more. And now
in my career, I spoke to people whose job it was to try to forecast long-term demand after, like, a decade. I actually remember speaking to somebody and I was like, dude, how are you going to deal with the collapse of American society? And he was like, I don't know yet. And that's when I was like, oh shit, you really do try to predict like 10 years out in the future. You're the only person at this like incredibly fancy dinner this automaker is taking us to who's in the same page as I am. Sick. Cool.
One of my
and we just, you ever been to the art museum, the Modern Art Museum in Houston, Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how they have the Rothko Chapel?
Yeah, of course.
And you sit in a room with like 8 12-foot high black canvases. And I don't know about you. When I went there, I had one of the most profound emotional breakdowns of my entire life. Like like being able to know the future in any way just feels like you're permanently placed inside that room, where you're just like, I can't tell exactly what's moving me to my core here, but it's not good.
You would deal really poorly with like a sensory deprivation tank, I think.
Oh my god, yeah.
I think if we just started taking inputs away from you, you would freak the fuck out. Because I found the Rothko Chapel, like, yes, moving, but like kind of relaxing, kind of nice.
Oh my god. Oh, I walked out sobbing from a panic attack.
We gotta get you help.
I'm on meds. This is me doing well.
We gotta get America help. That'll help you. But like, I just
anyway, that feels like what the future is like.
It just feels I think about how I'm pretty sure people at Disney knew COVID was going to happen before COVID happened, because do you know Disney has a global intelligence officer?
No, but that tracks.
That was a job posting that got put up a while ago, and people went, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. They're an internet, like, but you know, Bob Iger happens to retire, put up this new guy, eats all of the COVID shit, and then, whoa, Bob Iger's back. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. I feel like automakers aren't even that clever anymore, because it's just like,
no,
I don't know who's in charge of Volkswagen right now, but I don't envy him. Assuming it's a man, probably.
I knew this at one point because it was a big deal.
Well, you look that up.
One of the
Oliver
Bloom.
Is he not German?
I don't know. Yeah, he was born in Braunschweig.
Braunschweig, Germany?
Braunschweig.
Ah.
He's got a degree in mechanical engineering.
Cool.
And he worked at the body shop, and he worked doing planning for body shop and paint at Audi. Worked his way up, I guess. But he is a guy. You are correct.
Cool. Do you think, how much do you think he's just staring at a bottle in the middle of his room?
I don't know.
I think this is a point where every automaker needs the space that I saw that Toyota Motorsports had in Cologne. Have I told you this story about what's in the middle of their factory in Cologne?
No.
There is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful traditional Japanese garden in the middle of this industrial area in Germany. And it's this really beautiful little courtyard, because Akio would go there and chain smoke cigarettes when he was stressed out. If he was in Germany visiting them and he got stressed out about anything, he would just go to the little courtyard and chain smoke cigarettes in front of like a maple, like a red maple, and just look at the koi fish and just chain smoke. And I'm gonna be like, that is what the leader of an automaker should be doing. Like, every single one of them needs a beautiful place to just go like, fuck man, fuck man, fuck man. Like, what are we fucking doing? It's all over. Like,
genuinely, thank you. I'm so glad that you're...
A bunch of phone makers that we never heard of over here are making the best electric cars anyone's ever seen, and they're doing it seemingly at no effort. Like,
yeah,
and it's just like, oh yeah, sure, sell me an ID4. No, you won't.
Yeah,
I don't want one. Yeah.
Yeah, again, a vehicle which exists to soak up the lease deals of the pre-tax credit collapse environment, which is now gone forever.
Well, in woke too.
I'm sorry, because I have a third topic for us, but it's also a downer.
That's our podcast.
Because Jordan was sick. We have nothing fun. I wrote the notes entirely, which means that it is time to suffer with me. I'm taking you all to the Mind Palace in which I stare at the Rothko Chapel, and we are going to look into the void together. So against this what was the thing that Bernanke said? Irrational exuberance. Against the irrational exuberance of Volkswagen and Infiniti. In the world of material realities, where supply and demand are actual things that like dictate whether or not you can get things. You cannot have a thing that doesn't exist, even pulled from the ground and shipped through a strait. Ford is currently paying $3 billion extra in aluminum tariffs because of President deals.
That's a big number, Victoria.
Yeah, it is. So, because commodities have to be manufactured, they do not exist in like the imaginary realm. One could say like as a fetish in the sense that like it's just something that suddenly magically is given value. There's a factory in Oswego, New York, that supplies 40% of the American auto industry's aluminum, and it basically burned entirely down last year. They are still trying to fix it. They had like 2 fires. It didn't take out everything, but it took out enough of it that they can't supply a ton of aluminum. So Ford had to go overseas because if you remember from a couple of years ago, they changed the F-150's body to all aluminum to to theoretically make it more fuel efficient. Yeah, remember that?
If only you saw how that cookie crumbled, you idealist motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You poor fucking saps.
And it is the best. The F-150 is, I think, for the 27th straight year or something. I don't fucking know. It's been forever. It is still the best-selling vehicle in America. They basically sell as many of them as they can pump out every year. And because they are trying to smooth over tariffs, supply shocks, whatever you want to call it, they're trying not to jack up prices a ton. So they have gone to the Trump administration for tariff relief related to aluminum, because they have paid this extra. I think they've paid $2 billion, and they're on track to pay another $1 billion in excess tariffs. Because they've had to go overseas for it. And the Trump admin is just like, we don't fucking know you. You don't go here, which I think is great. To go on your knees groveling to a man whose mind is complete soup, and be like, hey, so we helped to get you elected, presumably, in some way. I mean, I think that other automakers were more on board, but, like, you know, they walked him through their plant. They sent somebody to the stupid fucking round table where, he called, like, people from Somalia horrible things. Like, they're all in the tank, right? And he's still like, I'm sorry, I'm not picking up that call. Who the fuck is Ford? I don't know what that is. I just think it's funny.
He thinks that Ford is still trying to do some sort of business plot, which I wish we would. Can we do a woke business plot?
No, I told you last episode I don't want capitalism back under like the right wingers can't keep that one. According to the Wall Street Journal article that broke this story, which is what I will be obviously putting this in the show notes. But quote, automakers and other users of steel and aluminum products could be on the hook for even higher tariffs in the coming months. Under recent changes, I don't even know what changes they are. I literally can't keep track. Many finished products containing aluminum and steel will be subject to a 25% duty on the full value of a product instead of the 50% levy on just the value of the metal.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, people who actually use your F-150 for like work stuff, your new work fleet,
we're not talking about
25% cost. Because I am sorry, if it's 50% on just the value of the metal, maybe you can make up through that for like economies of scale, you know,
which is again still $3 billion.
$3 billion
by the time this plant is back online.
But in the meantime, yeah, your F-150 will cost, if not you 25% more, they're going to cost someone 25% more, and that's going to be eventually, like, what is an F-150? I feel like we're asking the question, what do cars start at right now? But I'm going to look up, what is an F-150, like a base as fuck F-150 start at right now?
I would also like to shout out. So Trump has been to the Ford plant this year. We covered this in episode 4.
Yeah.
You got called a pedophile protector by King Thomas Sabula, who, again, as far as I know, still has his job. And the president, his brain is mush. So I think Thomas Sabula victory. How much does an F-150 cost? You're making a face.
It's not as bad as I thought it was. The 2026 F-150 starts at 39,330, so let's just call it 40 grand. So
sure,
it's with tariffs next or later this year. 50 starts at 50.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Is that like global economic collapse and the implosion of the American petrodollar means it's gonna be really hard to guess what.
Why is this still here?
F-150. Well, because the F-150 Lightning is like they like to keep it on the website as a reminder of what we once had. What Woke One brought us.
Well, I can ask Ford AI
Woke
to
2?
search local inventory for one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Shapes Place.
Ugh. Thanks for the helpful hint that your
good.
Ford Mustang GT3 is not a street legal car that I can buy from you. Thanks, Ford. Thanks, buddies.
Anyway, yeah, that's the Victoria Scott written episode.
I mean, to be
everything
fair,
is bad.
Everything's not great, but also like, it is. It's really a great German's a fake language, as we've talked about a little bit on the show account, because I was trying to check the times for an NLS race while I was sick, and I got flashbanged with Nürburgring TV saying proudly that we're sucking dick, which I know that's not how it's pronounced. But I love that German for we're looking for you for in like a job hunt context is we're sucking dick. Which to I say the Nürburgring could say faggot. It's fine. But like Schadenfreude is one of those great concepts that was a delayed reaction. That one took you a second to process.
I was trying to like have some kind of comeback and I couldn't. I just laughed.
I don't like. It is one of those moments where I feel like every single automaker is in a point of crisis, even if they're still like doing good. Like, except for, and this is going to sound crazy because of the history of these companies. Somehow all of the Italian high-end boutique automakers seem to be fine.
Are doing great.
Rolls-Royce
is absolutely killing it right now.
Ferrari stock's incredible. Aston Martin got this. This isn't worth like a full shout out because no actual details exist about the car. Aston Martin was testing some insane amalgamation between an LMP1 car or the Valkyrie and an F1 car at Silverstone.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And it's apparently people are like, oh, maybe it's like a limited model, or maybe it's like a new, like maybe they're replacing the Valkyrie for like hypercar. Maybe they've decided that actually like it's not worth doing the Valkyrie because without a hybrid, it's just kind of like, it's a one-off for one guy. And because you can exist off of that as an automaker, like as an automaker,
scare quotes on automaker is a good bit.
Aston Martin doesn't make money and will never make money, and it is actually imperative that the British state should own Aston Martin, therefore it's like a public good. Like, it's fine.
As extremely cool dude and person who gets it, Matt Farah wrote in an editorial for Road and Track this week, I think. Automakers are just increasingly like, well, shit, why would we bother making 1,000 cars that we make $100 on? We could make 10 cars that we make $1 million on. We make way more money that way. And like, that is, again, this is like the problem with capitalism as a model, because this is naturally the incentive. No single person is like, has caused this scenario to crop up. But if you let people accumulate enough wealth, this becomes like the incentive. And so everything is like this, it's increasingly like either you roll around in your like 15-year-old shitbox that you maybe can't afford to put gas in, or it's like you live in a world in which everything is catered to you. luxury dining's awesome, like luxury hotels are awesome, like boutique, the yacht industry's booming. Rolls-Royce is taking more personalized commissions than they've ever done. They've got like an entire fleet of artisans in-house to like make people's 5th and 6th Rolls-Royces customized to exactly their whims. They've got entire paint colors. They've got entire paint colors locked down for specific families.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the comfort that these people live in, while the rest of us are increasingly pushed to the margins, are insane. And I guess that's, I think, part of, I guess if you want to tie the whole episode together, that's part of what drives me batshit crazy, because the people who run these corporations see themselves as part of the set of people who will be doing well forever, and so do not treat the like threat to destroy a civilization as a serious one that will impact them. And I see myself as much more in common with, average people, a Palestinian whose house was destroyed, any imperiled person on earth. I fundamentally sympathize with and empathize with them, because like that's
if your net worth is not 8 fucking figures, you have more in common with your local unhoused person in your neighborhood than you do with a billionaire. And I said 8 figures. Like, I'm in the world.
I would even go to push to 9 at this point.
Yeah, because guess what? Like, 7 figures. That's like you're a dentist who did okay for the rest of your life. Like $1 million.
Yeah.
It's because.
Also, like, get cancer and don't have insurance.
Yeah.
And you will very rapidly find out how fragile everything is. And it's just, I don't know. As somebody who has been in that, like, ridiculously precarious situation repeatedly throughout my life, it is impossible to not look at, like, the model of we can simply kill whoever stands in our way and not be like, this is horrifying. This can't be allowed to stand. And then sit at home and be like, what do I do? And I mean, I guess, like, the best strategy I have that I can legally suggest is that if you work at Ford and Donald Trump comes through your workplace, yell things at him.
Call him a pedophile.
Call him a pedophile protector.
It makes him really upset. It makes him really sad.
He gets so mad, and you literally can keep your job. That is the one thing I can suggest on this show, and not... Because everything else I can't say. This is the problem, too, is I can only bitch about things. I can't actually say what I think should be done, because we're way out of the zone where I can say that shit.
And if you work for Ford, tell your dealers to stop putting Mustangs in malls. They're sad. They want to roam free.
Don't fence me in.
That should have been when I realized I was getting quite ill, is when I was like putting a hand on the Mustang in the mall and developing empathy for it because it cannot be outside.
Yeah.
Shoving a Cinnabon into the bonnet.
It was a great post, though.
Thank you. My brain was already boiling, I think. I think there's always things to look forward to.
Sure.
There's a thing that I look forward to, and I think about an Onion article as I have ridden my bike for miles while thinking about the Onion article about lowering Donald Trump into the grave, never to be seen again. Like I've held to that Onion article for so long. I
know.
But
that guy wrecked my fucking entire 20s. And is on course to do it again for my 30s.
Yeah.
And of course, like, he didn't wreck it personally. Like, I mean, I still got married, and I, like, had many joyous moments. We met. My life continued.
Yeah.
But, like, I am so goddamn tired of having to live my life like this.
A quarter mile at a time.
It's just not tenable.
Yeah. I made a therapist really sad a couple years ago.
Oh no!
And that's when
good.
You won. You've defeated them in the is when I just said I've stopped making 5-year plans because every time I put one together, it has become a recipe to hurt my own feelings.
Yeah, basically.
So
my 5-year plan is to be dead.
We've got to get you. We've got to get higher than that. So Victoria. I think that's an episode, and boy howdy,
well,
I hope so. Oh, okay, yeah.
I have shout-outs. I've got stuff I want to cover really quick.
Good things.
Because, good thing. Again, life continues on. I wanted to shout out my new friend Eve and her dad for bringing a really cool '66 Ford F-150 or F-100 rather to the port of Seattle, so I could get cool pictures with it with my new friend Sula.
They're really cool.
Because I got shot on 4x5. I'm so excited to see those. But like, yeah, I've posted the digital ones and they were really cool. And it was her birthday. We went and, hung out afterward. It's really nice lady. And it turns out it's cool to model with cars. Who knew? Somebody should do a book about that.
Yeah, weird.
That's
really weird, Victoria.
Yeah, Eve does make music. I don't know if she's got any currently up, but I'll check, and if she does, I'll put it in the show notes. Because it was really just cool to meet her and like get to like feel adjacent to car culture in some kind of way besides like pointing and laughing at Volkswagen tripping over itself. And then the other thing that I wanted to cover is a reader emailed me this week to let me know that this is just relevant for people in Washington, the state of, not the District of Columbia. There is a state rail plan that was added for this year, and currently it is open for public comment. And there's an article from the Urbanist that kind of like goes into more detail about sort of a call to action on it. But basically, if you're familiar with our regional rail, the Sounder, which again, every time it comes up, I have to say that is the name.
I genuinely thought you were joking last time it came up. That's why I did it. Like, I was just like, that's a good singer. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's actually what it's called.
Seattle. It's a F59PH painted with Sounder in big block letters, all capitals.
Youch.
Barely know her. Anyway, it has dedicated. Sound Transit actually owns some of the rails, the Point Defiance bypass, which if you're familiar with the podcast, well, there's your problem. I did an episode about that. It doesn't matter specifically, just know that they own some tracks somewhere, but most of their trackage is owned by Burlington and Northern Santa Fe. And freight rail in this country is a goddamn disaster, and the freight rail takes priority and dictates a lot of the ways that Sounder can operate, which is part of the reason why, as I have bitched about on this show, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we get regional rail that is like just a commuter service that sucks, and we don't have any like possibility of having a service that is like an actual like urban connector that could serve to like tie Bellingham and Seattle together, or Seattle and Portland, or even all of those cities all the way to Vancouver. And so if you live in the state and you care about this kind of stuff, you should go to the Washington State Rail Plan, which I will of course link. And in the public comment, you should tell them to give they should prioritize getting dedicated trackage so we can have regional rail that like runs at higher speed than freight allows, or runs more often than Burlington Northern will allow us to. Also, if you see stuff like this in Washington, or I suppose in Pittsburgh specifically, that is, a call to action where we could maybe do something good in the world, please send it to me. I love doing that. I love to tell people, like, hey, you should be aware of this and you should go check it out. Because I'm very depressed, and doing good things is the only way that I can get out of bed every day.
Yeah.
So this helps.
Yeah, if we as a podcast can ever use our platform for good, please let us know, because we would love to.
Yeah, I can't do everything on here, but I will try.
Yeah, we can't look. We'll see what happens at the Freedom 250. But I don't think we could do a whole hell of a lot. But I do think that this is worthwhile, and also like genuinely, I am going to ask everyone who listens to this show and has a part in it, including you, Victoria, go do something with the people in your life who help you get out of bed, and talk with them and see how everyone's doing, because I feel like this is one of those weeks where all of us have to keep going through the motions, and I think it is becoming increasingly difficult to do so.
And yet some of these people wake up and they're like, you know what? I'm going to get up, I'm going to put on my shoes, I'm going to walk into an interview, I'm going to say 800 horsepower QX80. That's how they function. I envy
You missed
that.
the step where he also, like, probably, this might be libel. This is parody. He probably drank, like, 4 fingers of Jack before saying that, and he was just like, no one will take me seriously. I'm like, yeah, 800 horsepower QX80. Whatever. So, yeah. Do something with the people you love. Start a new creative project. Go out and enjoy this spring and this summer, and just be safe. If you're not feeling safe, there are people in your life who want you to be okay and care about you. Yeah.
This is true.
Create a third space. I'm gonna just start doing the Eric Andre show, the move to Philly. Get 6 or 7 roommates. Make salsa together. Like, just do something. I spent a lot of this weekend laid up wishing I could be going out and doing things. So, because I know it helps.
I will say, like, going out and doing pictures with Sula and Eve was really fun. It was very enjoyable.
The photos,
and I did develop the roll of pictures, even though I didn't scan them yet, and I did get cool ones. So
I was very thankful to see some of your scans from your Texas Leica, and now unfortunately I saw how nice medium format looks, and I went, what's a Texas Leica going for these days? And would you believe it? Not that much money for a weird, cool vintage camera.
They are relatively cheap for how absolutely great
you could buy 10 of them for the cost of one X-Pan. 10,
That's correct,
10 of
you
them.
Can. And just walk around with like 10 different cameras, each loaded with a different film stock.
Slip a fucking disc because that thing's heavy as fuck. I
also was going to say, one last thing is that, we have our loyal Patreon subscribers, which are allowing me to survive, which again, I deeply appreciate. Thank you for that.
Which I might need to be relying on here soon too, depending on.
We are trying to get subscribers up, because now it may be a 2 trans women supporting podcast versus just a 1. But we'll get there when we get there. But we have our $15 tier, which is that I read out your names as a thank you for, like, just helping me pay rent and being a big fan of the show. You have to speak.
God damn it, I was trying to mime shirts to you. This is probably the last episodes that's going up while the shirt pre-order is still live.
Oh, yeah, but I was going to read it. I mean, like, yeah, we do have shirts that are pre-orderable at store.trangirlismo.com. I will put those in the show notes. Those pre-orders close 4/20, and then I ship out all the shirts. So order by then, because that's when the pre-orders close, and that is the order I am sending to the local shop that is making the shirts. Because again, I believe in trying to de-fetishize my commodities as much as possible.
No drop shipping here, motherfuckers!
I did try to look for, like, union-made shirts, but it is really difficult and becomes rapidly expensive in a way that I was like, I can't single-handedly do this at this stage of my career, but I will try to very hard next time. Make us more popular, and then I can be more ethical about my
make the American
sourcing.
Apparel man less of a creep, so American Apparel never goes away.
But I wanted to read out the names.
Yes.
So, all right. I wanted to say thank you to Selectric, who is Liz. I think I can just say that. I don't think she'll be mad at me for blowing her cover.
Well, considering it's her Blue Sky username, I don't think so. Yeah.
Josh J, John Russell, Crystal Storm, which is a really cool name, Finn Springs, Gavin Gaddis, who I believe wrote that very nice review about us.
I do believe.
Yes, they did that really good review of our podcast when it dropped, and we hope to continue to be good to vindicate them. Gadrian Lenker, penile sparing vaginoplasty, which is an amusing one to read out. Notably underscores.
I really love seeing the overlap in our Patreon subscribers, because Kill James Bond also reads out there. Wherever could we have gotten this idea from? Devin reads out these names on Kill James Bond, and I also hear Dev giggling through penile sparing vaginoplasty.
It's a great name. Wingsmith, Nathaniel Hubble, who wrote our song, I believe. which we will play at the very end of this because it's great.
Yes.
Hopefully we don't get copyright struck for the Love Boat theme song. I don't think we will. I don't think anybody's out trolling for like parodies of the Love Boat theme song. This is the username. Thank you to I, Victoria Scott, love Porsches and hate trains, which is an incredible bit.
Get fucked, Victoria. Not exactly you, patron.
I know exactly who that is, and yeah, that's right. Everybody point and laugh. Thank you to Princess Reese. Promises not to bark at loud noises. I also struggle with this. I understand completely. Thank you to Will, Dexus, Jerry at homogameragenda.com.
Nice. Yes.
Also incredible. Chris Hepner and Asherin. Thank you all so much. I really deeply appreciate people signing up for this tier because, again, I pay rent with it, and maybe Jordan will soon too. So we'll see what the commercial appetite is for two trans women talking about cars in a depressing
and one last
point of view.
One last note that's just incredible. Hey, thank you to everyone who has legitimately reached out with places that I am spending part of this next week I reaching out to venues in DC. However, I just want
we're doing the live show.
I want to try to fuck it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's don't let your dreams be dreams. I wish Shia LaBeouf was a better person because that quote's incredible. Shout out to the hero who let me know that Comet Ping Pong Pizza, yes, that Comet Ping Pong Pizza, is apparently a venue? And how fucking
holy shit
funny would it be to be the T-Girl Car Podcast doing a live show at QAnon source material Comet Ping Pong Pizza? I really,
we gotta call Brace Belden and see if he'd come on as a guest for it.
Yeah, sure. I'm so pumped. I really want to make this happen. Also, I'm just gonna throw this out now, because I want some fans to keep it in my mind. I'm saying this out loud as accountability, not saying something that won't happen. I'm gonna do a meetup at the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix this summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured 2 trips for the show in one summer might be a big commitment for you, Miss Ma'am. As we don't know
possibly, especially if gas.
We don't know what jet fuel's going to cost tomorrow. And there's no train linking the great state of Washington and the great ? State of Pennsylvania.
Transsexual Paris.
Pittsburgh's incredible, and that's why when I become mayor of Pittsburgh, I will lead our secession for both Pennsylvania and the United States. And that's
it'll be like a Vatican situation.
Yes, I will be transsexual Pope of Pittsburgh, naming it like New York.
By the time this happens, we'll have already had at least one schism, so it won't be that big of a deal.
They threatened the Pope,
do, like,
apparently.
I know.
We didn't even have time to get into that nonsense because I try to leave Catholic bullshit to the Catholics, but I've been gritting my teeth a lot this episode. Like, my jaw hurts. Like,
I'm sorry.
This episode...
Well, now it's an episode. We can end it.
This episode felt like... and I'll probably stop my recording after I say this, but this episode did feel like... you know the thing they spin astronauts around in to, like, see when they black out?
Yes.
I feel like a fighter pilot just kind of graying out in the fucking... like... I love doing this. This podcast makes this stupid country so much more worth it.
Shapes, your flickering friends. Watch them glow as the empire ends. And shapes will soothe all your pain. anytime. The world breaks your brain. The Shapes Place. Just press those fingertips to your eyes. The Shapes Place. When something deep in your psyche sighs, you can take off your glasses and enter a field of light with shapes like shimmering stars, forming dazzle lines on pre-production cars. It's shapes until woke to its shapes.